What's going on, everybody? This time to wrestle with Suplexus. I am Suplexus, and today I am gonna predict Backlash St. Louis. This is the first time ever we've had a Backlash St. Louis paper. Okay. I'll stop with the jokes. Yeah, today we're predicting Backlash St. Louis, and you look at the thumbnail, we got Mr. Viper, Randy Orton. We got Mr. American Roller Coaster, Cody Rhodes. We got John Cena. So for the first time in a while, I am not having Io Sky or Roman Reigns on my prediction thumbnail because they're not going to be on the show. So it does feel a little weird like that. By the way, happy birthday to Io Sky. I'm recording this. I'm in the West Coast, BC, so it's still May 8th. Happy birthday. Roman Reigns, we got the same birthday, so that'll be later this month. So I just want to throw that out there. Feels a bit weird without them being on the show for my predictions. But without further ado, let's get started with the Backlash prediction. So, the first match I'm going to be doing is for the United States Championship. It is LA Knight, versus Jacob Fatu. I love you, Solo. All gas, no brakes. He does like facial expressions. The guy right here, Drew McIntyre, the guy beside CM Punk, the Bad Blood poster. And then we have Damian Priest. Little NXT callback there, you know. But in this four-way, to me, it should be a fun match. It's going to be a good match. The build is pretty bare bones. We had Drew fight Damian at WrestleMania. Oh yeah, let me know. For this is the first time, by the way, that I'm doing a video beside my computer without the headphones on. So if you like this less, if you like it when I do headphones more and you feel passionate about that, or if you want me to go back to that, let me know in the comments below. I won't do this again. But for that four-way, we also had Jacob Fatu fighting, what's his face? LA Knight at WrestleMania. So they just put them together. And considering John Cena's champion, we need people like Drew McIntyre to fight for the US title instead of a world title temporarily. That's why we're getting this match. My prediction is I got Jacob Fatu winning. I don't think there's much else to this match. It's gonna be good. Jacob's gonna win. I don't think Solo turns on him at Backlash. It's a possibility that he hugs a Drew win because he basically, without saying it, was like Drew should be in the four-way for the US title, or he should make it a four-way. But I'm going Jacob Fatu to win. The next match we got is Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Pentagon Jr. And the build for this also, Backlash, it's going to be a theme going throughout the card. The build is not too strong because this is about 3 weeks after WrestleMania 41. So it's bound to happen like that. But for Dominic and Penta, they had the match on the Raw after Mania that Penta lost because JD got involved. He challenged for the title. And then both of them were involved in the Fatal 4-Way. It's funny to me, we are kind of doing the reverse. So the US title started as a one-on-one at WrestleMania, and now it's a 4-way. And then the IC title started out as a 4-way at Mania, and now it's a one-on-one. That's kind of interesting. But this should be good. This very well could be match of the night, considering how much Dominic's improved over the past year or past couple of years. So I have Dominic winning. I think this reign is continuing. If he loses to Penta, I would feel a little bit early. I do think Penta is eventually going to be the person to take that title off of Dominic, but I think we got the Finn Balor story to tell. We have this AJ Styles story to tell. So Penta, maybe by SummerSlam he takes it from Dominic, but I don't think it's happening at Backlash. I am going to say Dominic Mysterio retains the Intercontinental Championship. Excuse me. So, the next match we're going to discuss, it is Pat McAfee versus Gunther. So, the last two matches are like, okay, we saw this at Mania, we saw that at Mania. It's just like a rematch or some shift of the match, but it's going based off Mania. Pat and Gunther, I wouldn't have guessed that coming out of WrestleMania. So, the way I feel about this, there are like two ways. Two things, I should say. The first thing is, it's a 5-match show, and we're giving one match to a commentator. So, I know this was gonna get the buzz. WWE likes their viral things, but I wouldn't have minded if they gave the Io and Rhea, Roxanne and Julia match the spot on Backlash, because, you know, they deserve it quite a bit. Like, they've been building for it ever since right after Mania, with like Io getting attacked or fighting Vacker. So that could have been on the show. You could have made it 6 matches, I guess, for that matter. And then there's another thing to go with that. It is a 5-match show, and an announcer is taking up one of the matches, and I'm not sure how good it's gonna be. Now, Pat McAfee, it's not like he is a bad wrestler from anything I've seen. He fought Austin Theory in a decent match at WrestleMania. He had a less decent match with Baron Corbin at SummerSlam. And then he had a pretty good match with Adam Cole at TakeOver 30. I believe it was NXT TakeOver 30. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but that was actually a pretty good match. So that was 5 years ago. I'm not sure if Pat could still do it, but if anyone could bring a good match out of Pat, there are a few people on the roster that could. Gunther is certainly one of them, and I'm hoping for a match that doesn't go longer than 10 minutes. This should not be competitive. Gunther said, I'm gonna be more focused than I ever have before. If that is truly the case, and we have seen Gunther run through people, Gunther should destroy this guy. He should destroy this commentator, not even a wrestler. And it'll probably set up for Gunther versus Goldberg. Yes, I'm not too excited to see Goldberg, but that seems like where they're going. Gunther and Goldberg maybe at like the rumored Night of Champions show in June, I believe, and that or SummerSlam potentially. But I have Gunther winning this. I think he's gonna destroy Pat. Maybe he destroys him to the point where Corey Graves has to fill in on Monday Night Raw once again. But Gunther wins. Pretty easy to see. And now it is time for the next match. For the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Yep, we got 2 Intercontinental title matches on this show. But 1 world title match. Go figure, I guess, with that. So, we have Becky Lynch challenging Lyra Valkyria. This build, to me, it is the definition of rushed. Because I am so used to these slow burns, like Finn Balor turning on Dominic. That's been teased, it feels like, since the beginning of the year, and we still didn't get it, and we thought it was going to happen, like, for the last 2 or 3, like, maybe not the last 2 or 3 pay-per-views, definitely been, like, 2 of them. So, we've expected that, and then you go back to other ones. How long did it take Sami Zayn to hit Roman with that steel chair? Like, they built that up for ages, and then it got a crazy pop that I can't even describe in words how loud it was. So, we've had all those, like, the downfall of Damage Control too. You look at Bayley leaving, they teased that for almost a whole calendar year. That was like 10 months. But then we have Becky Lynch coming back, winning the titles with Lyra, and turning on her like that. So, I'm not a fan of it. I love long-term storytelling. I love long-term booking, having a vision. That's why I do these fantasy booking Future Slam videos. It's for the vision that I have for what could happen in the future. But this was hot shot the titles on to Becky and Lyra, hot shot them back to Raquel and Liv, and then hot shot this heel turn angle, and then they treat it like it's a Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk at Bad Blood. That's what the build is like. But the issue is, it is not that build. It is thrown together. They are manufacturing this feud. I don't mind the feud itself, don't get me wrong, because I believe at the end of this, the goal is to make Lyra Valkyria a bigger star than she is right now. And the women's division, boy, they could use some stars. Is looking at WWE, unless they're 5 or 6. Maybe that's even stretching. So I don't mind this match happening, but the build is so rushed. So I'll get to my prediction now. I went off a little bit. I have Becky Lynch winning. Even though it's a title change, it's very predictable to me. They are not going to have Becky turn heel just for her to lose to Lyra, and then Lyra moves on. I see Becky Lynch winning. I see Bayley coming back. And Bayley's going to fight Becky. They could act like this was the plan all along, that Bayley was gonna get all this good babyface power because Becky took her spot. But I'll say, I said it in the Mania review, I'll say it again. Bayley deserves better. She is like the more selfless women's wrestler, and I like I'm fine with Becky Lynch. Bayley is a much better heel. You look at Bayley's heel work and Damage Control with Sasha Banks. Pretty much anytime she was a heel, it's always a hit. So if I were them, I would have just subbed out Becky Lynch for Bayley and had that be the Backlash program, but that's not the case. I think Becky wins, she feuds with Bayley, and eventually Lyra will take that title from her, whether it's like SummerSlam or Clash at the Castle, Clash in Paris. Lyra will get it back. So now it's time for the match that is selling the whole show. The reason people are going to be interested, honestly. I don't know why I said honestly there. Of course, I'm being honest. But it's Randy Orton versus John Cena. Hey, nothing you could say. Nothing's gonna change what you've done to me. Now it's time to shine. Gonna burn the light. That's Randy's old theme. So, Randy and Cena to me, like on a pay-per-view where a lot of these matches seem manufactured just to get 5 matches onto the card. By the way, I'm surprised Logan Paul and Jay didn't make it onto the card. I hope they don't drag that out till Money in the Bank. But on a show where like things feel manufactured, this is the one thing. And I know Pat and Gunther, some people excited. I'm not as excited about that match personally. So Randy and Cena, to me, that is the show seller. My favorite match of theirs was SummerSlam 2007, the first time they ever met, because they didn't need like the I Quit match. They didn't need any of that. They just put on a good wrestling match. And then I like the I Quit match at Breaking Point. Did you hear Michael Cole's call? Randy Orton has reached his breaking point. Real creative. And then, my bad, Michael. Bragging Rights 2009, the Iron Man match. Hell in a Cell at Hell in a Cell 2014. Back when Hell in a Cell had its own pay-per-view. So, those were good. But for all those good matches, for every good one they had, there were like 2 misses for their feud. Sorry, that is my fridge talking. This, I am hoping to be surprised by the match. I'm hoping that they go out there, they plan it out, give us some nostalgia spots. Maybe Cena slaps her up just like Randy did at No Way Out 2008 to get himself disqualified, only for the match to restart. Maybe Randy Orton pulls John Cena Sr. out, or Cena pulls Cowboy Bob Orton out and punts them, just like Randy punted John Cena's dad. Cena gets his revenge. Just all the callbacks, all the nostalgia. I am here for it. I am hoping the in-ring work is better than Cody Rhodes and John Cena at WrestleMania 41, but not holding my breath for that. I just want a fun, entertaining match that doesn't bore me. And yeah, my prediction, I have John Cena winning. And I have the person up here. It is the American roller coaster, Cody Rhodes. I think he's making his return at Backlash. And who knows what it'll be. Will it be Randy RKOing him out of frustration? Will it be him facing off with John Cena? Who knows, but I got Cody coming back. That's what I think is gonna happen. And one more thing I'll point out. I really like the thumbnail I made, and this Randy picture is a reference to No Mercy 2007, where he was scheduled to fight John Cena in the last man standing match, but it didn't happen because Cena tore his pec. So, who knows? Maybe they will make this a last man standing match and we'll get the one we're supposed to get at No Mercy way back. But that is it for my predictions video. I might be doing a future slam on what I do with the women's world title until SummerSlam, but that's potentially coming out. You could expect a review for Backlash. For now, that's everything. This has been Suplexus. I hope you enjoyed Backlash, and I hope you enjoyed this video.